This is Gemara Moed Katan Daf Chof Gimel. Today's share has been sponsored generously by a close friend of the Daf. Lizchos Refuah Shlema for Rachama Yiska Miriam Bas Tzirol Bracha. She should have a complete Refuah Shlema. She's in the ICU with high fever on an event. A young woman. She should have a Rachmana. She should have a complete Refuah Shlema. The learning of the entire Chabura, the Schos HaTorah, the Schos of Talmud Torah Berabim. Baruch Hashem, as the Chabura grows, as people learn and people do Chazara, and as we're learning the incredible halachos of Avelus and different Gemaras, the Talmud Torah Kenegei Kulam should bring Emir Hashem an incredible schos refuah shlema for Rachama Yiska Miriam Bas Tzirol Bracha, as well as the learning should be a schos shidduch for Yisrael the version remember as he is a giddush and less of Shan Makol Mordechai with the Shendal Skiddush of Shendal Shlomo Levi Zava of Ben Tavi Shem Ben Chai, as well as the schos refuah shlema should use Ben Yafid Ben Vivek Chaim and Sarsham Simon Reitz Zar Bas Kanati to see under the Chai Zay Yisrael Ben Mendel Elias Paris with Shalei Shlomo Nami Beshavik Shechana Shmom Ben Til Din Khan Reizim Chai Bas Mina Din Ben Nida Svi Vivek Devara Rivka Bat the Shan Tavzim and Khlas Amram Min Yakoy Zar Bas Kilo Shlomo Yisrael Ben Asi Yehud Israel Avram and Rochel Adai Shimon Ben Chana Vigal Paro Bas Esther Miriam Gabriela Bas Pluma Yisrael Yitzchak Ben Dina B'Soik Sha'ar Chayli Yisrael, and we pick it up on the very bottom of Chav Beis Mid Beis in the first Y line, 3 lines to the end of the Amid, continuing the discussions of Dinei Avelus. Says the Gemara Al Chacham Chayletz Miyamin Al Avezin Mismol. If someone is tearing Kriya for a Chacham, which side do you tear Kriya? On the right side. When you're doing it for the Avezin, it's on the left side. Al Nasi Mikanu Lekan. If someone is tearing Kriya for the Nasi, you do it on both right and left. Tan Rabbana Chacham Shameis. Of Chacham is Nifter, base Midrasha, his personal base measure is Batal. Av Bezdin Shemei is Kol Bat Midrasha V'Iroi Betilim. Every Bat Midrash in the city is Batal stops. V'Nechlasim. Not only do they stop learning, but everyone enters the base like an Mekaiman. They change their places. Ayoshim Besafan, Yoshim Bedarim, Ayoshim Bedarim, Yoshim Besafan. North goes to south, south goes to north. Musical chairs, everyone sits in a different place. That's when the Avvezdin is Nifter. Nasi, the highest level Shemei is Bat Midrash is Kulam Betili. Number 1, everyone is Bat. Number 2, B'nei HaKnesses, Nechlas the base HaKnesses. And the people of the Shul enter into the Shul as we turn over to today's Daf Chav Gimel Amid Aleph. Ve'kairin Shiva. And they're talking about when it's Shabbos and they read the 7 aliyahs and they say for a Torah, but they do not daven v'yotzin, they leave, and Rashi points out they daven b'yachidos. Rabbi Shua ben Karchaimer lo she'yelchu v'yitaylu b'shok. Not do you go home and have a party, not do you have a kiddush. Al yoshvim v'daimim, you sit and you're silent, a form of avelos. V'einaimim shmua v'agada beis havel, and similarly they do not give shiurim and shmuzim of Talmud and Agada in the house of the morning. Amru Allah Rav Chanan ben Gamliel Shaya Omer Shmuel v'Agada Beis HaAvel. He disagrees that you're allowed to say the Shmuel and Agada in the Beis HaAvel. And again, the reason is because this is Shabbos. That's where the heter comes from. And as we're going to see, this is going to have to do with a larger machlokes and how do we deal with the halachas of Avelus with regard to Shabbos. Rav Chanan ben Gamliel is of the opinion that you're allowed to give a drasha in the Beis HaAvel on Shabbos. Tanu Rabbanan. Says the Gemara 6 lines down, Chav Gimel Amid Aleph. Avel Shabbos Rishayna Inu Yaitze Pesach Beisa. The first Shabbos of Avel doesn't leave his house. It's referring to the first week, the whole week of Shiva. Shniya, the second week, he leaves his house, he goes to shul, but he doesn't sit in his place. Shlish is the third week, he can sit in his place. But he does not talk to other people. He's at some level still in Avelos. He keeps to himself. He doesn't try to talk as much. Ravi is the 4th week, he's a regular person. That is the Tanakama's opinion. Rabbi Yehuda, well, you don't have to tell me that the first week you stay at home. Everyone's coming to his house. He's in Avel. He's sitting Shiva. Everyone's coming to pay him a Shiva call. So of course he doesn't leave. Rather, explains Rabbi Yehuda, the second week he bumps everyone down or up, whichever way you want to look at it. The second week in Yotzvech Beisa he stays at home. Shlish is the 3rd week. Yotzvech Yoshev Kaimai. Ravi is the 4th week. Yoshev Kaimai Beina Medaber. Chamish is Reikol Adam. So Rabbi Yehuda disagrees and says it's an extra week, some level of mourning. The first week everyone pays him a Shiva call. The second week he's home alone. Of course we do not paskin this way. Then he goes to shul. Then he doesn't talk. And the 5th week is when he's going to be back as a regular member of society. Tanu Rabbanan on the first white line. Kol Shleishim Yom. And by the way, a lot of these things that everyone's wondering, wait, we don't do that. The answer is we don't, and there's many minhagim, etc. with regard to Avilus. Tanu Rabbanan Kol Shleishim Yom Nesuim. all 30 days for Nisuim. He's not allowed to get married for 30 days or any Avil. Misa Ishta, if his wife is Nifter, Asli Shisha Acheres, that Shiavru of Shlisha Regalim, he has to wait 3 Yamim Taivim. Rav Yudaimer Regel Risha in Vishini Ulcer. The first 2 is forbidden, but Shlishi is Mutter. V'mein Laibanim, let's say he doesn't have any kids. Mutter Lisa La'alter. Why? Misham Bittel, Perav Rev. He has a mitzvah deraisa to have kids, and therefore he does not have to wait. He's allowed to get remarried right away. Hanicha lo yibanim. Let's say she leaves him children, and now he needs a wife to take care of those kids. Ketanim or small. Matali South, he's allowed to get married right away. Mimnei Parnas son, so that someone can take care of the children. Maisa explains the Brisa. There was a story. Shemisa Ishtal Shal Yosef HaKohen, the wife of Yosef HaKohen was Nifter. Va'amar la'achoisa, and he said to her unmarried sister, Rebisa Hakvarais, L'chiu Parnasi es b'nei achoischa. In the cemetery, right after the Kvura, he said to him, come and take care of your sister's children. Va'afal Bikein, and still, he didn't actually sleep with her. He didn't have relations with her. She came and she took care of the kids, but he wasn't properly and fully married until a long time after. Says Gemara, what does that mean? He waited 30 days. Tanu Rabbanan. Now we're going to continue the halachas of Shleishim. 5 lines from the bottom of Chav Gimel Amid Aleph. Kol Shleishim Yom Negiyotz. All 30 days, you're not allowed to do giyot, which is a type of laundry. You're not allowed to wear freshly pressed clothing for 30 days. Achad kelim chadashim elkeinu yishanim. Whether it's new or old kelim, you're not allowed to wear them for the first 30 days that they are pressed. Not for the first 30 days, excuse me. For the first 30 days, the one is a novel. Yotzin. For the first 30 days, that they come out of the press, an Avil is not allowed to wear that clothing. Rabbi Omer says, Rabbi, lo yasru ala kilim chadashim bilvad. Rav Shimon Omer, lo yasru ala kilim chadashim levanim levad. White clothing, as we see in Hilchos Shabbos, white clothing looks newer and fresher when it's pressed. So 3 shitas, either it's only new clothing, it's new white clothing, or it's any clothing you're not allowed to wear within the first 30 days that is freshly pressed, freshly laundered. Abaye nothing begarda the Sarbla explains the Gemara. What did Abaye do when he was in Shleishim? He went out wearing a garba de Sarbla, certain type of coat that looked brand new. Ki Rebbe, like the opinion of Rebbe, the Rebbe said, like the opinion of Rebbe, who says that what is aser, Rashi explains that it's only the new clothing, the lavan and chadash is aser, but the freshly laundered is not a problem. Rava Navi b'chimutza ramisa samkasa chadati kravlaz Rav Shimon. Rava went out with a Roman tunic which was colored sumkasi and was new during the Shleishim, like the opinion of Rav Shimon, which we saw a moment ago. Which we saw a moment ago in the Bryce. Rav Elazar ben Shimon said that the only thing also were the white kelim. So Rava went out with a colored garment that was not an issue. Now we continue on the last line of Chav Gimel Amud Aleph, quoting the Mishnah. Amru Shabbos Ayla Ve'inu Mafsekis. Shabbos is included as a day of Avelus, as a day of Shiva, but it does not stop the Shiva. Explains the Gemara, Bnei Yehuda, Bnei Galila. Different ways of understanding this Mishnah. The people in Yehuda, people in Galil, Hani Amri, these would say as we turn over to Chav Gimel Amid Beis, Hani Amri Yesh Avilus B'Shabbos, V'Hani Amri Ein Avilus B'Shabbos. Again, what did the Mishnah say? The Mishnah said that Shabbos counts as a day, but it doesn't split up the Shiva. So you have a Machlokes B'nei Yehuda, B'nei Galil. What does that statement mean? Do we say that there is Avilus on Shabbos, or they're not Avilus on Shabbos? And now the Gemara explains what exactly is going on. You know why there's Avelus? It says Ayla. Shabbos counts as a day of mourning. It says that Shabbos does not cut short the Avelus. Ask the Gemara. Now, excuse me, and if we're explaining this second Shita, if you're going to tell me there's Avelus and Shabbos, Hashta Avelus Nago, you're telling me there's Avelus Afsuki mi bai? Did the Mishnah have to tell me that it doesn't cut it short? Of course not. So from the fact that the Mishnah said it doesn't cut short, must be that there's no din of Avilus on Shabbos. And that's the Machlokes B'nei Yehuda, B'nei Galila. Do we say that it's Oyla or not Oyla? Is there Avilus on Shabbos or not? But says the Gemara, according to the second Shita, that there's no Avilus on Shabbos. Again, the classical game of ping pong over here. What does he do with the first opinion? The first opinion said that the word in the Mishnah that it says it's Oyla, that it counts, proves to us Clearly that is Avelus. Explains the Gemara, I think by the Mishnah Seifa ain't on Oilam. No, it's Lav Dafka. The end of the Mishnah is ain't Oila. So the first part of the Mishnah says Oila. So therefore Tani Reisha Oila. Ulaman Damar Yeshavils Mishabis Tani Ainam Havsakis. Now we flip it back the other way. Again, we're in the middle of a machlekes be Yehuda b'nei Galila. We said in the Mishnah that Shabbos is Oila. It has Avelus, but it doesn't split it up. So which one is it? Is there Avelus on Shabbos, or is there not Avelus on Shabbos? Machlekes b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila. We said, what is the machlekes dependent on? One opinion says, it says Oila, it's Avelus. Other opinion says, Einam Havsekes, must be there's no Avelus, or else why would I have to tell me Einam Havsekes? So now we're flipping the question back. According to Mandama that says it's Avelus on Shabbos, what do we do with the fact that the Mishnah says Einam Havsekes? Why did it have to teach me that it's a davar arim shutim? Explains the Gemara again. The Mishnah Seifa Mavsikin Tani Reisha Einam Havsekes, and that is the end. Each one explaining the other part of the Mishnah. But now, if they're going back and forth between whether there is or is not Avilus b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila, says the Gemara, Lema Kitanoi. Let's say that indeed this machlekes b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila is a precedent, is a machlekes Tanoim, which we never like to say. Why should these b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila be arguing about something the Tanoim already argued about? Mishameisai Muta Lavanov, says the Raisa. This should probably sound a little familiar. We learned this all the way back in Gemara and Brachas. Mishameisai there's a deceased relative sitting in front of him. What is halacha? He does not eat there, he eats in another house. If he doesn't have another house, he eats in his friend's house. Put a mechitza 10 tvachim and eat. You have no way of making mechitza, you turn your face and eat. Again, we're discussing a relative is nifta, the misa is in the house. What are you allowed to do? Says the Raisa, go to another house and eat. You don't have another house, go to your friend's house. You don't have a friend's house, go to another room. You don't have another room, put up a mechitza. You don't have a mechitza, just turn away from the mace and eat. And the Raisa now continues, the einoi mesiv, when you eat, you don't lean while you eat, va'eichal and eat. Ve'ino eichal basar, you don't eat meat. Ve'ino sheisayayin, you don't drink wine. Ve'ino mavarich, you don't make brachas. Again, this is the quintessential case of an einin. The dead is right in front of you. The kavura did not happen, so you don't make a bracha. Ve'ino mezam, you don't have ziman. Ve'in mavarich and alav, and you do not make brachas before you eat. Ve'in mezam din alav, and you do not make ziman after. You don't make ziman before you eat, and you don't make ziman after you eat. You're part from Kriyishma, davening and tefillah, and all the mitzvahs in the Torah. But b'Shabbos, what do you do on Shabbos? Shabbos is regular. You eat, you recline, meat, wine, together with people. You make a ziman, etc. And on Shabbos, not only that, you're obligated to Kriyishma, tefillah, chol mitzvahs amuras b'Torah. So the first opinion in this brayso clearly is saying that when it comes Shabbos, there's no more aninos. You eat, you drink, you recline, you make brachas, you do ziman, etc. You daven, etc. But comes along Rav Gamliel, and Rav Gamliel at the end of this brayso, 5 lines at the end of the Amid says, says Rav Gamliel, because you're chayiv on these mitzvahs that we just said. What mitzvahs? You're chayiv in Kriya Shema, and Tefillah, and Tefillin, v'chom mitzvahs b'Torah. Therefore, says Rav Gamliel, you're chayiv in all the mitzvahs. V'amar Rav Yochanan, what is the crux of his machlekes between the Tanna Kama and Rav Gamliel? What exactly are they debating? You know what the detail that they're debating is? Tashmesh amita ikevenayu. They're debating whether a husband and wife on Shabbos is no din of avelus at some level on Shabbos. So at what level? That's the machlekes Tanna Kama and Rabbi Gamliel. That according to Tanna Kama, what do we say? We say you're chayiv in all the mitzvahs on Shabbos, and therefore, there is no din of Tashish Amita. Why? Because they are Aser. Whereas Rav Gamliel says, no, he's obligated in all the mitzvahs, and therefore he's going to be obligated in this as well. It's like a one Rashi, Tash Amita Kemenayu, Ha Da'amar Nischayev Bikula and Savar, Mutter B'Tash Amita, B'Tanna Kama Savar, Aser B'Tash Amita. So suggests the Gemara that what is going on in this brayso between Tanna Kama and Rav Gamliel, the machlekes really depends upon Do you say that since you're chayiv in all the other mitzvahs, therefore you're going to be potter, you're not going to have a din, and therefore it's going to be aser in Tashamita? Whereas Gamliel says, no, you can be chayiv in everything, even Tashamita. And what is this machlokes? Suggests the Gemara, my lava kamiflikli, the machlokes that we just had. The Marasav Yeshavelos b'Shabbos, Marasav Eina Avelos b'Shabbos. So very lengthy brisa, a very short daf. But the Gemara is suggesting that the machlokes b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila, in which we saw at the top of the Amud, whether there is or is not Avilus on Shabbos, is dependent upon, is an old machlokes. Tanakam and Rav Gamliel, which structures upon whether there's going to be an allowance of Dash Shamita on Shabbos, is indeed a machlokes whether there is a heter of Dash Shamita, which is indeed the machlokes whether there's Avilus on Shabbos or not. But the Gemara says, no, Mimai, how do you know? Tamar can come Tanakam also Mishum de Mesa Mutalafon of a special din. It's not regular Avilus, is Aninos, the Mesa is right in front of you. Our case is different. Because there's no din of avilus yet. Therefore, suggests the Gemara, the machlokes b'nei Yehuda b'nei Galila is not a problem to say it's arguing whether there's avilus on Shabbos, because this is not the machlokes between the Tanakama and Rav Gamliel, because they might be having a more fundamental machlokes which structures upon the fact that they're anenim and not avilus, and that's going to be the machlokes whether it will be Isser Tashamit or not. We'll pick it up from the Shaila Abba Minei in the next Amud tomorrow. Mirza Hashem.